According to a new report, the FBI began spying on anti-war activists on U.S. soil after they protested the expansion of military base. This isn't the first time the FBI has been caught doing this. I mean, it's like we're talking about a green issue here. This is a green space issue, just so you understand. That's what this, you know that, but the point being, so the viewers understand. This was about, we can't let you expand all of this territory, all of this area that's green space, and make it in a military facility. That's where it started, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Camp Grayling, and what they wanted to do was take, 140,000 acres of a national park and turn it into their military base. Specifically, I think it was a training base for the National Guard. Right. So National Guard from all over the country, let's bring them to Camp Grayling so we get all that economic money, all that generation of the revenue here. But a couple protesters, in fact, it was just 2 protesters, showed up one day when they were doing this recruitment. The recruiters went to lunch, they came, the protesters, they kind of switched out all of their flyers for flyers that say, do you want blood on your hands? Sign up today for the military. And then when the recruiters came back, they took ketchup bottles with red paint.
Which was stupid.
I mean,
really.
And they sprayed their hands with the ketchup bottles and said, you have blood on your hands.
Yeah.
So these 2 people now sparked this massive FBI response where they tried to charge them with terrorism.
Yeah.
And even the local police were trying to say that it was a hate crime because this was, you hate law enforcement.
Yeah, they described it as a hate crime against law. But first of all, let me back up. There are limitations, okay?
Right.
You know, you don't throw a pizza at the Mona Lisa.
Right.
You don't take crayons and, cut out the face of Mona Lisa. Sometimes they bring it on themselves. These 2 nut jobs probably have caused the movement more trouble than they're ever going to be able to pull out of. But what they've done is they've given this expansive machine, this anti-terrorism machine that the FBI just loves. I mean, you give me something to call terrorism and I'm going to rock your world. And unfortunately, I'm going to rock the world of all the people, the well-meaning people who are trying to accomplish something. The truth is, they had the high ground. You know, of course, you don't take 150,000 acres of green space and put it into a military facility. But these 2, when you see this story, look at this story in other places.
Yeah.
The whole thing is nut jobs spray ketchup on FBI. I mean, of course, everybody's reaction, well, hell yeah. But they have the high ground here, and they gave it up. They gave it up. And so where does this go? How aggressive will the FBI and the CIA and all of these organizations are involved in this kind of thing?
Well, we've seen it even with this story. The FBI ended up mounting this very large presence in, or near, I should say, Camp Grayling. And then what happened, like you said, all of the other people, the well-meaning people who just, we showed up with our signs, or we showed up and we linked arms, or we signed petitions. All of those people suddenly became targets of the FBI, and the FBI began combing through their social media. They began
interviewing neighbors.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine? You're protesting about something you should be protesting about, and some cat in the FBI shows up at your neighbors. What do you think of Farron? Doesn't he do? He does a lot of ugly stuff about Trump. He's a left-wing commentator. What do you think about Farron? That's what they do.
Showing up at their places of employment.
Yes.
Making it to where the boss is like, hey, we can't have this happening around the office here or around the pizza parlor or wherever it is. But, you bring up a good point, too, because I've always said that. When your actions become the headline instead of the protest,
exactly,
you've lost. Your actions can never outshine the movement.
We have always said this.
Yeah.
But you're always going to have the outlier nut jobs, okay? Who say, yeah, I'm really going to accomplish something here. I'm going to take a razor blade to a piece of art. I'm going to take a hammer to a statue.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something outrageous, and that's really going to be good for us. Bullshit. It hurts everybody in the organization. And that effort that the well-meaning people in that organization are trying to put forward, they disappear. When you look at this story, you're going to see the story about the 2 nut jobs spraying ketchup and paint on an FBI guy. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about it. Yeah. And it's an important movement.
It is.
You don't take 150,000 acres and just build a military base expansion on it.